This is my audience. 5 people. Karen, Simon. So I have a story about when my grandfather in 5th grade, my brother joins football. And he had never played football, but my father was really happy that he was. And so he went out and made sure we got a lot of practice. Living with my grandparents a little bit, my grandfather knew everything and had a story about everything. So we went home and told him the good news, and he was in his normal attire, just a shirt and khaki. No shirt, just pants. So he wanted to show my brother how to hit somebody. So he got up holding his pants, and he got my brother ready, and he says, "I'm going to hit you hard here." He hits him hard. He hits my brother, goes back stunned, but my grandfather's pants fall to the ground. So growing up, I had a lot of stories like that. When I was 5, my parents were divorced, and so it wasn't necessarily a bad thing to me because I was so young, but I was able to grow up in 2 different households, one with my grandparents. It was a pain when I was younger because dinners would last 2 hours, not because that they were cooked or anything like that, but because we would eat and we would make sure and sit down and talk and talk and talk. And like I said, growing up, we would talk about saving, we would talk about being street smart, we would talk about how to work hard and get a good job, and at the time I hated it because all I wanted to do was play my games and Nintendo. As I got a little bit older, I realized in high school that my grandparents pushed me to try new things. They said, "Why don't you go for the soccer team? Why don't you go for the swim team? Why don't you try new things?" And I joined orchestra, and I joined debate club, and I was in community service projects, and I was also part of swim team. I even became captain on the swim team, getting like most valued thing, but I never even wanted to do it at the beginning of high school. My grandparents always pushed me to do that, and I felt like, I guess because they were older, they knew the quality of looking back and remembering later. As I got out of high school, they pushed me more to do better in school and do better in work, and I have a full-time position. And as well, anytime anything came up, they always encouraged me to roll up my sleeves and do the hard work. I went to bartending school, and I now bartend on the side, making extra money. Where this past Christmas I made over $1,000, which money I never would have had if they hadn't pushed me to do it. And it was really hard when my grandmother died when I was 13, and it was sad. But it was part of life growing up, and it made me appreciate my grandfather, the time he had left. He died this past June, and it was a bad time, but it was mainly a happy time because we spent all our time together as a family. We went out and did more things as cousins and uncles that we never did before too much, and we were happy to see him that he was at peace now instead of dealing with this disease. So growing up without that story of him dropping his pants or the long lectures and over dinner turned out to be a really good thing for the man that I am today.
Mm-hmm.